We had several projects with the papermaking 4.0 from Voith before, and this was also part of it, but we were also looking for a way to make our production more or less raw material and cost efficient without neglecting our quality parameters, like for Smurfit Kappa the same way. And I think actually all of us are a little bit struggling with the energy costs and the raw material costs, especially in Europe. So here Voith, as Gerold already mentioned, was able to provide us a system with target, like for example 10% or 15%, and that was the only one who could give us a range where we could land.
And we will see later that we achieved it, right? We will talk about the savings.
Correct. So this discussion we also had because, yeah, how can you make it visible? So we had a determined time period where we are running against now. So here you can see our savings in the specific grammages without a look at in detail on the specialties of the papers for years, liner and fluting compared. But as you can see, we are able to achieve very high savings at some points, and at some points we don't have that much savings, but altogether we are up to 10%, and we are quite happy with the situation here. And yeah, it's with this determined time period you are running against. So you can also say, okay, when you say switch it off and check again, maybe you get another result because now the operators know where the system is going to and how little the amount of starch can be. So it's easier to have a time period where you are running against. So make a maybe long or short time period it's up to you, but we made a long period here for to see the long impacts, because sometimes the machine have better days and sometimes it has worse days. So you have a better overview when you have a longer time period here.
Yeah, the system is running now for 4 months, so we don't have a huge experience, but we can see there are 2 ways to see what the system is doing. One is the online measured consumption of starch, and that is quite easy to see how much starch did you apply, but it's not so accurate because you have always some, in the starch system, the concentration is not so right, but the final answer I always get at the end of the month when we do a sum of our production costs, and we started in November and we had in December our lowest ever specific starch consumption. So there was a quite strong signal that something is happening. And as a coincidence, we found out in January, where we had a problem with our quality measurement system in the laboratory for a certain period, we saw that the consumption of starch went up to compensate. And since that is repaired, the starch consumption has immediately gone down again. So this was, yeah, not ideal, but it showed us immediately that the system is now reacting based on the measured strength in the paper. So yes, it is easy at the end of the month. Look at your starch consumption and then you should see something, otherwise it's not working. If I may start, if Industry 4.0 is happening and you need these kind of systems, so be active, do something, go with the future. It's always hard if you are one of the last ones, so be involved. There's a lot of potential, there's a lot of efficiency, there's a lot of savings that can be done. And so do something about these kind of systems, and we've done it with Voith and it's running okay. So I can recommend, in general, you have to do something with modern control systems, and I can recommend Voith as one potential partner for these kind of systems.
I would also recommend it to my colleagues. We are not as big as Method Kappa, but we also have some other mills. But we definitely would recommend it to our colleagues in Pölz or, for example, in Raubling. What is the biggest advantage? The biggest advantage is, I think, that you see the strength properties live. So you don't have to wait till the QCS says to you, okay, your CMT is like, or your SCT is this, and you should maybe adjust something. And now the system goes by its own and live, and all the variations that you have in your process is monitored and is seen by the system and corrected if it's possible.